Hello, this is Xavier, and today's tutorial is all about a very simple, spooky background that you can use for those last-minute invites or textures that you need for Halloween here. This really shouldn't take you too long to do. Again, it's a very simple, simple little process here. You're going to notice that we only have about 6 layers to our entire project. We have our text layers. We have scuff mark layer. We have some bats, an old paper that we use for this kind of this pittiness and this scrubbiness of the background, and then our actual background blend. So let's get started. All I've done here was just created it's like 756 by 512 image area. Again, any size is fine to use, obviously. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to be creating that yellow and orange background. So I'm going to select my colors. The orange that I'm going to use is a pretty dark orange. And the yellow that I'm going to be using is a kind of obnoxious bright yellow. Okay. I'm going to flip them so it's foreground, background. If you don't do that, you can always hit this flip button here so that you get your yellow to orange. For my shape, I'm going to select radial. And then I'm just going to kind of play around and try to get a circle that or a radial circle that I'm kind of happy with here. Okay, so there's my background that I'm pretty happy with. You can create a new layer. This is about the only time-consuming part, and that's actually adding the bat paint brushes to the image here. Now I've put the link to the bat brushes in the description of this YouTube video. When you import them into your brushes folder, it comes in as 4 different bat brushes. What I've actually done is I've created a multi-image paintbrush that just randomly selects my bats every time I click. So that's something that I kind of did on the side that isn't covered in this video. But if you don't know how to do that, you can just select the different bat images. Now with this bat paintbrush, I'm just going to flip it over to black. And I'm just going to do different size bats, kind of in a semicircle here. And I'm only going to do it on half of a semicircle. So this is kind of the point when, I'm going to cut here, and that way you don't have to watch me placing all of these. But again, all I'm doing is just changing the size of my paintbrush and just kind of randomly putting out different size bats. So I've completed adding in all my bats here. Again, you can notice how they're pretty close together. Don't worry if they're overlapping, anything like that. Now notice how I only did half the image. That's because I'm going to click on this layer, hit my duplicate button, and I'm actually going to flip it. So now I have 2 sides, and I kind of get this shape or symmetrical shape in the middle here. You're going to notice that there is some overlap because I didn't quite hit just the perfect center. That's no big deal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this top layer here. I'm going to merge down. It's going to bring it all into one layer for me. I'm just going to grab my eraser tool and erase the ones that kind of look funny. You kind of notice sometimes these kind of look funny, just being mirrored like that, so I'm just going to delete them or erase them. Again, you can do this really quick. And then I'm just going to touch it up again with some more bats. You notice how I only deleted the ones on the right hand side because all my bats are facing to the left. I'll make this a little bit bigger here and even do something like that. Oops, I don't like that shape. There we go. Okay. So there's my bats. My next step is to kind of grunge it up and to add some scuff marks. Essentially what I'm going to want to do is create almost a black border all the way around the image with some scuffing over the bat images here. It's just kind of going to give it a cleaner look so we don't see all these edges and things like that. So I'm going to create a new layer. Again, I put the spot where I found the grunge paintbrushes in the YouTube description here. I'm going to use this one here. You're going to have to play with the sizes a little bit. You know, a couple of them I'm going to do really, really dark. Some of the brushes are really nice because they kind of have like a black corner already on it. I'll make this one a little smaller. Something like that. You know, for the areas that, like in that center area, that's too dark for me, so I'm just going to go back with my eraser. Kind of edge it out a little bit. And then for the edges here, I'm just going to go back to, again, a grunge brush. Kind of big. And just notice how I'm just kind of really darkening up. Kind of the spots that I missed. So here's a cutaway. I wasn't very happy with that original one, so I kind of took my time and did it again here. What I noticed when I was doing it, because it's a smaller image, some of my cuts were going in the center here, and I just didn't like that look. So what I'm going to do is actually I created a selection in a circle. I'm going to feather the edges here quite a bit. And then I'm just going to take an eraser. It kind of has a fuzzy edge. Kind of go over it here and cut out a center. Now that gives me a really clean center, which doesn't look right either, you know. But what we can do is take a lighter paintbrush here, make it really big. Just kind of add some very light marks over it. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is kind of dress up this background a bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a texture that is basically, it looks like an old piece of paper. I'm just going to drag that in. Okay. So if I remove everything else, you're going to see it's just an old piece of paper kind of texture. Again, I put the link in the description. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change that mode to multiply. See how it now gives it a lot of really rich detail? Okay. And I can even dumb it down a little bit, let's say to like 85% or so. Okay. Keep on messing with that circle, not totally happy with it, but I can clean that up later. So really from here it's just adding text to the image. So if I do a text box, I just write the word Halloween, and I'm going to use this Ghoulish font. Again, I've put a link to where you can download that. I'm just going to expand that, make that a little bit bigger, maybe like that. And I'm going to change the color to white, and then I'm going to make that overlay. And what overlay is going to do is going to bring out that yellow color, just kind of make it that spooky, engraved type of text there. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is to write the body of my text. And for that font, I'm going to select the face font. Again, there's a link. Face Your Fears. And I'm going to change that color to, it's kind of a grayish, but still very black. I'm going to write a very spooky GIMP tutorial. I'm going to do something like that. And I'm going to cut away and I'm going to fix this circle here so it's not so straight edged, and then we'll show you the final product. So when you're all done with it, it should look something like that. I just took some additional brushes and made it a little sloppier around the sides and darkened up the corners by using, another one of these grunge brushes here. And again, feel free to play with it. That's kind of the fun of it, is to kind of make those mistakes and fix them up. You can always hit Control-Z for undo. Well, that's the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please hit that like button, or definitely leave a comment if you have any variations that you end up doing with this. Thanks. Have a great day here.